The ever-irrelevant Ben Carson did an interview with Fox News on foreign policy, and he threw around some particularly scary and bad ideas.
Just last week, the president said his job when it comes to this terrorism is like a mayor fighting crime in a big American city. And what he said was, if the mayor's successful, then he'll take the crime out. And suggesting that over time we will judge whether or not he is successful and whether or not he takes on ISIS the correct way. Now, you've given this great thought, and you just quoted Churchill suggesting we need to get after them now in their infant stage. What would you do, Doctor?
Yes. Well, I would use every resource available. Military, banking, sanctions, you name it. And I would not hesitate to put boots on the ground. You know, we need to be the leaders. The coalition will form if it has a leader, but you can't sit around saying, well, you guys do this and we'll do, you know, this is serious. And so I would commit everything to eliminating them right now. And we also have to make sure that our military, which is extremely talented with very good leadership, is not put in a compromised position where we're trying to micromanage them. We have people trying to manage the military who know nothing about the military, know nothing about military strategy. And our military needs to know that they're not going to be prosecuted when they come back because somebody has said you did something that was politically incorrect. There is no such thing as a politically correct war. We need to grow up. We need to mature. If you're going to have rules for war, you should just have a rule that says no war. Other than that, you know, we have to win.
Whoa. So when America commits a war crime, it's not a war crime. He doesn't believe in war crimes if those crimes are committed by American soldiers. Here's a question. What makes us better than the enemy if we abide by that? That's a serious question. And you do know that throughout history that argument has been used, right, by other regimes. You know, the Germans, for example. Hey, when a good German commits a war crime, well, it's not a war crime when we do it. Why? Because we are standing up for the future of humanity and the right values system and the right government. We are trying to create a superhuman race, an Aryan race, which is superior and will bring humanity to the next level. So obviously, since we are fighting for what's right by definition, it doesn't matter if we break your petty little war crimes. It's irrelevant. Back during the days of the Greek Empire, back during the days of the Roman Empire, back during the Spartan days, every single empire throughout history told themselves that same pretty little lie. Oh no, when we do it, it's okay because we're the good people. No, we're the good people by definition, so therefore if we have to bend these pesky little rules, it's totally cool, bro. Don't worry about it, look the other way, because when we do it, it's okay. Thumbs up. That's so intellectually vacuous and backwards and not thought out, unintellectual and immoral. I mean, and also, by the way, I fear that we've already gotten to that point in America with what he's talking about here. Remember, what's his name? Chris Kyle, the American sniper. He wrote in his book about how, the rules of war were clear. Kill any male between age 16 and 65 in Iraq, period. That's what we did. That's what we abided by. Now, again, I don't know if it's Chris Kyle alone and his particular group of people alone. That's a particular thuggish branch of the military. I don't know. But I fear that this, unfortunately, is the culture that has become the dominant culture in the American military. I mean, take, for example, torture, right? So obviously, we know that this is the culture in the CIA. We knew that well before we even questioned it in terms of the military. But with the CIA, all the governments they've overthrown around the world, and South America specifically, just all over the place, just overthrowing democratic leaders, putting in puppet dictators. Torture! Look at what we did with torture! Unfortunately, Ben Carson's winning this argument because the United States of America did anal rape torture, anal feeding torture, hypothermia torture, buried people alive, did waterboarding, sleep deprivation, loud music for hours on end to the point where it literally creates psychosis. So we're talking about, unfortunately it's true, that's how America's been acting. We act in that way. No, when we commit a war crime, it doesn't count. I mean, the thought that, like, America would go to the International Criminal Court and be like, all right, come take us. We fucked up. We shouldn't have done that illegal invasion of Iraq where we killed over 200,000 civilians. So you know what? Here, bring us in. Unfortunately, that's not the case. It should be the case because, I mean, justice is supposed to be blind. It's not supposed to matter who breaks a law. If the law is broken, there's supposed to be justice. But that's not the case. So unfortunately, I fear Ben Carson is right. But the scariest aspect of it is that he vocalizes it, right? It used to be something, okay, they're going to bend the rules and they're going to, you know, make it seem like if we do it, it's okay. But they're not going to, I mean, come on. They're just going to act like they didn't break the rules in public. They're not going to come out and say, yeah, we broke the rules and that's the way it should be. We should be allowed to break the rules because we're special. Now we're at a point where some of the dumbest Americans, some of the furthest right Americans, like Ben Carson, they come out and they say, yeah, no, I agree with that. We should be able to murder people. Again, what makes us better than the enemy if we do that? If you're saying there's no such thing as an American war crime, then, okay, Americans get to just kill any civilians, get to kill women and children, get to attack civilian areas, attack hospitals, attack schools. This is what you're saying. You're saying there's no war crimes if America does it. So is that what you want? I guess that's what you want. So I guess you're a lot like ISIS. That's the inevitable conclusion. Sorry, son. It's called a logical deduction. This is what you're saying without even realizing that you're saying it. And also, did you notice, this will be the final thing on this, but he goes, I would sanction ISIS, and I would attack ISIS with banking. Look, I'm trying to find a nice way to say it, but there really isn't a nice way to say it. He's the dumbest smart person in human history, Ben Carson. And the reason I say he's smart at all is because the dude's a brain surgeon, and he's like a world-renowned brain surgeon, which shocks me to this day, because in every other aspect of his life, I'm surprised the dude knows how to tie his fucking shoes. Listen to the verbal diarrhea that's spewing from his mouth. You're going to sanction ISIS. You're going to sanction ISIS. You know, like they're Finland. What do you mean sanction ISIS? What do you... Oh, you're going to do... attacks via banking on ISIS. You do know that they like took over banks, right? You do know that they just rob shit and take shit and then they say, mine. Thank you. Move along. He acts like, you know, they have an open account with Wells Fargo and they go there every Thursday dressed in their militant gear like, I'd like to make a withdrawal, please. Just a silly person, but also a dangerous person, Ben Carson is.